Hello everyone, you are welcome to Literature Hub 247, a free online literature class where the art and science of literature are discussed. To be part of this class, just click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you have access to all our videos, and whenever any video is produced, you are going to be notified. This class is about second class citizen, written by Buchi Emecheta. So we are going to do justice to the WAEC 2023 past questions on the text. But before we go ahead, I will advise that you watch my video on how to answer literature English questions in WAEC and NECO. In that video, I explain the new techniques that has just been introduced by WAEC in answering literature questions. So you need to understand these techniques before you watch this video. Let's go ahead. The first question there says, examine the contributions of Ada's first day at the Methodist School to the development of the plot. Examine the contributions of Ada's first day at the Methodist School to the development of the plot. Now, as I was saying earlier, this particular question is divided into 5 sections. In one question is 25 marks. So it is divided into 5 sections. That is 5 marks per section. The first section, you need to relate the question to the theme. You relate this question to the relevant theme. That is one of the themes of the text, one or two of the theme of the text. You have to relate the question to the theme, as we have it here. You see, I write in red ink, relation to theme. That is the first thing for you to do. The major themes of the prose are racism, patriarchy, gender, discrimination, and the importance of Western education. Ada, as the protagonist of the novel, is directly affected when in Nigeria and the United Kingdom. So that's the first section of your answer. Now, the second one is character identification. Any question that a character is mentioned, you need to identify the character. You tell us who that character is, as we have it here. Ada is mentioned in the question. Alright, Ada is the protagonist of the novel. She is the daughter of Pa and Ma Ophili. Her younger brother is named Boy. She is a brave, dedicated, and determined character. That is just the identification of the character. That's one of the identification. Now go to her attitude. She creates interest in being educated from a tender age, as she views it as a solution to poverty and disease. She is envious of Boy, her brother, who is enrolled in the school, and her friends. You remember, Ada is not enrolled in the school, and she has to take her brother to school every morning. Ada is not enrolled, and it is her duty to take her brother to school every morning. She sees her friends in uniform and feels bad. When she takes her brother to school, she also sees her friends already in uniform, and she is not enrolled. So she feels bad about this. Now you have to talk about her day. At that first day experience in secondary school, at that first day experience in the Methodist school, this is the mainstream of the question now. The first section has to do with the relation to the theme. The second section, that is character identification. Now this is the mainstream of the question. This is the question that is asked. So we now go to the question. Because of her determination to be educated and her feelings about her brother and friends going to school, Ada sneaks out of the house one day without anybody knowing. She wears her oversized dress to Methodist school and looks for Mr. Cole's class. Mr. Cole used to smile at Ada each time when going to school. She finds the class and enters while the pupils giggle. Mr. Cole sees her and shows his encouragement to Ada. He asks Ada to sit beside a boy that has crow on his head. Ada doesn't even mind the crow on the boy's head as he is determined to get educated. She is instead happy that she achieves her aim. Now, contribution to the plot. This is part of the question also. It reflects Ada's self-determination and curiosity to be educated in a society where women are viewed as less important. The incident also set the pace in the treatment of girl child education in the novel. It serves at the beginning of Ada's realization of her dreams and goals in life. It concretized her lifelong ambition in life. It also reflects Mr. Cole as a lover and supporter of girl education. So by that, we have done justice to the question. We have answered the question as stipulated by WAEC, as expected by WAEC, because we have the question is already divided into 5 sections, and we've covered all these 5 sections. So the first one is the relation to theme. The second one is character identification, and while the third one is Ada first day experience in Methodist school, followed by a contribution to the plot. So that is how you are going to divide the questions. Now let's now go to the second question. Why does Mr. Noble find it difficult to evict his tenant? Why does Mr. Noble find it difficult to evict his tenant? As we did in the first question, we are going to relate it to the theme. The novel deals with the themes of racial segregation, patriarchy, importance of Western education, and determination. This creates problems for women and black people's yearning for social mobility. Ada in this novel experiences all this. It also binds the black landlords from dealing with their tenants. Mr. Noble, a black man, finds it difficult to evict his tenants. That is racial segregation, as we have it in the theme. Now, character identification. The character mentioned there is Mr. Noble. Mr. Noble is a Nigerian who owns a whole terrace house in Willis Road by Kentish Town Station. His wife is white and her name is Sue. They have many children. Mr. Noble tenants are 2 white sisters who are born in the house. One of the tenants has a 43-year-old son living with them. That is Francis, and Ada are his latest tenant. So we have identified the characters like that. Now the state of the house. We also talk about the state of the house. The house is old and needs renovation. Mr. Noble doesn't have the money to renovate the house. The tenants are not paying rent. They are the 2 white sisters. That is, they are not paying rent for the rent they are supposed to pay is not paid to Mr. Noble. The tenants are white, hence they are not afraid of any superstitious beliefs. They also know their rights. They don't feel threatened. They are controlled tenants. Who are controlled tenants? A controlled tenants are the tenants that live in a house that is that's being controlled by government. So the landlord does not have any authority to increase the amount to be paid. The tenancy payment. The landlord doesn't have the authority to increase it anyhow. The house is being controlled by the government. So any tenants living there are referred to as controlled tenants. Now the rent laws. The tenants understand the law that a landlord cannot evict a controlled tenant and cannot increase the rents. You see that there? So he doesn't have the right as the landlord to evict, to send them out of the house. And also, he cannot increase the rent. The law is binding on Mr. Noble, which he cannot disregard. As it is, the law favors the tenants and works against the landlord, which is Mr. Noble. So, that is the second question from second class citizen of 2023 WAEC question. Now, note, the prints in red are not part of the answers. They only serve as guide, as set out by WAEC. You know, these prints in red, they are not part of the answer, just to serve as guide. Because when we are answering our own question, we don't need to write the length loss or character identification, relation to team. You don't need to write all those ones. So I just use them just to serve as a guide to us. So that is the answers to the two questions of WAEC 2023 questions. So as I said earlier, if you are new on this channel, on this platform, please click on the subscribe button, like the video. You can share it with your friend. You can share it on any social media platform. You can also invite your friend to join us, because there are a lot of things to gain on this platform. So as you are doing that, God bless you. If you have any question, just send it through the message box there. And if you need any link to any video, to any text, just make your request and you'll be attended to. Thank you and God bless.